You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers about hikers for everybody.
This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we hang out and talk about everything from hammocks and hammock camping to the group hangs from around the country. Hey everyone, welcome to the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we unwind, relax, and delve into all things hammock related. Join us as we swing into the world of hammocks, exploring tips and tricks for setting up that perfect hang, sharing stories of outdoor adventures, and discovering the latest trends in hammock camping and relaxation. Whether you're a seasoned hammocker or new to the art of hanging, this podcast is your cozy corner to kick back, escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and soak in the soothing atmosphere of the hammock culture. Prepare to be inspired, educated, and entertained as we embrace the hammock lifestyle together. So grab your favorite hammock, find that perfect spot to hang, and let's embark on a hammock-filled journey that will leave you feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the world. This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where every episode is a breath of fresh air. Let's get started.
Howdy hangers, welcome to this week's exciting episode of the Hammock Hangers Podcast. And this week we have our resident AT expert and Florida Skunkape extraordinaire, Paul, or, well, Skunkape, but it sounded a lot better in my head when I was saying it. But
yeah, no, it was terrible.
Not only is Paul joining us, but we also have Water Boy also in the house. So welcome aboard, my friend.
It's good to be here.
So as you might can gather, and because I've gotten a few messages when the last episode came out, we haven't done a recap of HangCon Europe and our Denmarkian extravaganza. So that is what we are going to be doing today. And more than likely, because I'm kind of calling this, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 2-part episode.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it has been. Shoot, it's been a hot minute. It's been, what, a month? Right? Yeah, a month.
Oh, my goodness. Now we've had.
It seems like we just got back.
Well, yeah, it's been crazy. It has been absolutely crazy.
This month has flown past.
It has
flown by.
Well, I mean, not only that,
okay.
we've had a pretty crazy couple months because Paul and I had quite a bit of excitement before we left. Me and Paul got the exciting lesson in how to fill out taxes when you own an LLC.
Yeah,
that was not a fun lesson.
That was fun.
That was no, it was not.
No, it really wasn't.
It
really wasn't.
But
we'll be better prepared next year.
Yes, we will definitely be more prepared and more equipped with the information that we need. But yeah, so we had that little nugget of information thrown at us right before we were heading off to Denmark. But
yeah,
and then we'll talk about Denmark but then, oh my goodness, when I got back, I was I haven't talked to anybody. Like, I've barely even talked to you. I came back in the full throes of school testing. I actually was administering 2 tests this year. I've got my 5th grade and 6th grade math, as well as a science test as well. So it was really 2 straight weeks of testing, not to mention other diagnostics that are pointless and unuseful. That's fine. This is another soapbox that I'll step on that we had to get done for the end of the year. And just wrapping things up for the end of the year, getting grades in and preparing for like little celebrations and hoopla. And and I might have some other exciting news that I don't know anything yet. But of just about me personally, but I'll drop that nugget out there. So I'm still waiting to hear on some information, but yeah. So yeah, it's been absolutely insane. So
Do we know?
no, you guys, neither one of you know.
Are you sure?
Yes, I guarantee that you don't know. I don't know
Do
if
you know that?
Matt does not know. I have.
Are we gonna take we could take bets about what it could be.
Is the awkward silence.
Why does it
Either
seem
one of
like
us
you've told me?
I don't know if I told you or not, but oh, maybe I did. Maybe
I
yeah.
think you did.
I think I did. I may have alluded to it at least. I don't know 100% if that's actually come to fruition or not. But anyway, so we've got a lot of like really cool things to talk about. Not to mention, like Dutch released a brand new hammock, the Hellbender, and UGQ is on the verge of releasing this really cool limited run quilt, top quilt that is a banyan, but it's lined with Alpha Direct fabric. Man, those are really nice. I saw one of the prototypes, or at least the Quillo version, a little bit ago, and gosh, that quilt looks absolutely amazing. And Paul is like really loving playing with Chat GPT and putting me in Cinderella dresses. That is beautiful. Beautiful.
I love ChatGPT. There's only a couple of people that have that picture for it so far. So far. I might make it into the show notes
The
of
show
the episode.
So let's talk about Denmark. So now I do remember having the conversation on the bus, or not the bus, the train last year with me, Corey, you, and Shug. And we were all talking last year, and we said, it was such an amazing experience last year that I don't know if it would be the best. It wouldn't be the same this year that it was last year, and that was true. However, it was like just as awesome. It was just as awesome.
Definitely.
It was very different, but it was just as awesome.
Yeah, there was some pros that were a change this year. Which, I mean, I'm sure, Christian and all them from the Danish Outdoor Festival would say the same. One of which, being the location. You didn't get to experience that last year, Matt, but where the event was last year, it was nice. It was smaller, but any little bit of rain just turned everything into muck and mud. And so this year, where it was more spaced out. It had a bigger castle, and of course, weather being beautiful. I mean, we didn't even have rain until several days after the festival, I do believe.
It was
if I remember
beautiful.
correctly.
Castle Grounds, the weather was beautiful. It was cold, but it was like our January here in Florida. It was beautiful. Couldn't have asked for it to be any better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that I wore my hoodie up until, for the first several days. When did I start wearing it? I know I wore it the night that they had the movie playing right there, because they had that. Did you go down to the movie theater, or to the movie and watch that?
I went down past it, but I didn't stay and watch it.
Okay. That was actually pretty neat. Because it was right there. You had the little I don't want to call it I guess it was a stream that they kind of, because it used to be a natural stream, and then they took in when they done the grounds. So yeah, it was a stream. You had the stream where you was on one side and then the movie theater was on the other side, and then just off to the side you had the castle in the background. That was pretty neat. But it got downright cold down there that night. But yeah, the location was, in my opinion, better this year than last. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, I think the location was significantly better. Although, just like last year, I lived in one of my Lightheart Gear hoodies pretty much the entire time, with the exception of maybe like a 3-hour window, kind of midday.
Right.
Yeah, that's just, it stayed on just the entire time. When it would get like kind of like that mid range, I'd have my Alpha Direct, and then when it got a little bit cooler at night, that's when the polar grid came on, and yeah, it stayed on the entire time.
Yeah. I think the only, which I wouldn't call it a drawback, but or a downside, Deanna would, because we found out that she was allergic to ramps.
Oh yeah.
For anybody that don't know what ramps are, it's just wild garlic, basically. It's like a garlic onion-esque type plant. And
it definitely has the smell.
Over there,
it definitely
yeah. Well, it has the taste. It has the taste too.
Yes.
I know whenever I'd done my hike, especially up through, I think it was up through the Smokies, I do believe. You would find them, growing wild and stuff. I remember picking some and putting them in my food. But over there in Denmark, this stuff grows like grass.
Mm-hmm.
And where the HangCon part of the festival was, it was just all over the place. And when we started getting set up and everything, it actually had Deanna's sinuses and everything all messed up. Her eyes just kept watering. Her throat got all scratchy and everything. And then
it was pretty much as soon as you guys got there. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like
instant. Yeah. But so we just kind of assumed that she was allergic to them. But then after the festival, Christian, Mede, and I and Deanna went out to a dinner. Christian and Mede wanted to take Deanna and I out to this castle that they had turned into like a dining place, and they had rooms where you could actually rent like a hotel type thing and stay in the castle and everything. But Deanna ended up getting the pheasant schnitzel, but didn't know that they used ramps as like in part of their sauce. Mm-hmm. And she got deathly sick.
Really?
We left the castle and everything, and we got back to the hotel, and Deanna just looked at me and she's like, "I'm not feeling well." She goes, "I feel nauseous." And then she was in the bathroom for like 2 hours. It was bad.
Ew.
It was bad. And looked it up to see what the symptoms of, if somebody could be allergic to it. We figured that they could, but wanted to see what the symptoms were, and she had every one of the symptoms. Well, most everyone. It could have gotten worse. Because it did say, yeah. That's pretty much what it severe could have led to. So now she's a little gun shy around any garlic and onions and everything else now.
Did she have any issues with like any of that stuff before she went over? It's just like wild ramps?
Well, that's the first time she's ever had ramps.
Interesting.
But like garlic and onions, no. She don't like raw onion, but no, she's never had a issue with any normal.
That's interesting.
But yeah.
So Now, when we left the States, me and Matt actually flew out on Easter Sunday, and you flew.
Yeah, y'all left the day before.
Yeah, we left
out the next day.
We were able to leave that Sunday. Just and I'm really glad that we were able to leave that early. Having those a few extra days before the festival were, man, almost good as the festival. Like we had a blast. We really did. I will say, so Paul, did you ever go through the whole like TSA pre-check, global entry stuff on your? I know we talked about it. So
I knew I wasn't having to go through Chicago, so I didn't worry about it.
So I will say, as a review, now luckily, in all the airports that we were traveling through to, I didn't necessarily quote unquote need it. However, it was really nice to have.
Is that something you can use at every airport?
So the way like TSA,
how does that? I mean, I don't even know how that works.
TSA pre-check, it was essentially like a fast track, just going through security in like domestic airlines. Okay. So when we got to Tampa, which is where me and Matt flew out, the lines were relatively, short, but I was literally boom through security in like 2 minutes, where Matt, it took you what, like 6 to 10?
Yeah, okay. And this time we had enough time. It didn't make a big difference, but I could see how it could help out if the lines would have been a lot longer.
Yeah. I also didn't have to take off my shoes or like
shoes. I like undressing in public, so that worked out okay for me. Take off my shoes, my belt, my hoodie. So and they're like, "You can stop now." You sure?
So the only one time.
How long does that last, AJ?
What's that?
How long does that?
It was like 5. It's like 5 years. It's like $120 for. I mean, you can get just TSA pre-check. I think it's like $75 or something, but $120 for 5 years, and it includes TSA pre-check. So the only time that I had to use the global entry was when we were coming back into the States, which we did that in Dallas, and they basically just scanned a picture of my face, and I was good to go. Now, granted, the lines at Dallas were also significantly shorter than we went through Chicago, but yeah. But on the way over, we did not avoid Chicago. We
was it as bad this year going as it was coming?
Yes.
It was. Tell them about the bus.
Oh my goodness! So one of the good things, I guess, for me, it would have driven Dawn crazy. Probably you as well. But all of our technical like layovers were essentially exit plane, book like hell to the next terminal to get on plane to leave. It was like boom, boom, boom. Pretty much every single flight.
Stand that.
I mean, me and Matt were just like, this is an adventure.
Yeah.
At least that's what the impression that we gave each other.
Yeah. See, I would have been like, this is an adventure through hell.
Yeah. It really wasn't that bad. Was it slightly stressful? Yes. But on the flip side, we didn't have like this long, drawn out layover.
I think our longest layover was like 4 hours, I think. Something like that was the longest. And that was because like 20 minutes, 30 minutes was added to it.
So
still wasn't bad.
So our plane out of Tampa was delayed like 10 minutes or something like that. Or 20. I don't know. But the changeover in Chicago was going to be tight. So we get off the plane, and we have to go from the domestic terminal to the international terminal. Well, okay, right. All right. So this must be across the entire other airport. So we book it to like this bus that's supposed to take us to the next terminal. So we get there, and they had just let a group on the bus. So like, okay, well, this shouldn't take long. No, we had like JV, AILP, like trainee. She had to literally go in and check our passport and our boarding ticket for every single one of the passengers. And it took forever. But I was saying, okay, so we're good. We're good. We're down.
This was at Chicago.
This was at Chicago. So we get everybody's approved and whatever, and we literally go down a single flight of stairs. We're talking 20 feet. Where another lady is also doing literally the exact same thing for every single one of the passengers getting onto this bus going to the next terminal. So I am losing. My American is showing. Like whoa.
I know mine was.
So we
the lady who checked us. I'm sorry. The lady who checked us upstairs was standing 10 feet away from the lady who checked us downstairs. She was right there watching us, and we had the yellow ticket from the upstairs lady.
Oh yeah, we had to get a ticket.
It was not good enough for the downstairs lady.
It was the greatest example of
left hand don't know what the right hand's doing, huh?
Ever. It would be a prime target for Doge. Yes. So then we get on the bus and we essentially do what feels to me, now correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but it seems like we do this, like we take this big U-turn box around where if we had gone to the left instead of the right, it would literally have been maybe 50 yards. But it was like a 2-mile box around to the next terminal. We exit the bus, we book it to our terminal, only to realize that we were good because we had to exchange our American Airlines boarding pass for a Finnair boarding pass. And so we were stuck there anyway. So it was fine.
So that has to be one of the worst airports ever.
It was. I was looking at Matt going, this is what hell feels like. Chicago, this is what hell feels like.
Okay, so Dan and I took Air Canada the whole way, there and back. And Orlando to Toronto was no issues.
Toronto is a great airport.
Toronto is, yes. No issues. But now just before we landed, we started getting notifications that there was some changes. So apparently, now remember Dan and I had upgraded to business class.
You had the bougie
long
seats.
Flight. For the long flight. Well, just before we landed, we started getting those notifications of changes, and the change was the entire airplane. It changed. Okay, so now the new airplane that we're taking over was a smaller airplane. So how did it work? Everybody that was, the smaller airplane didn't actually have a first class section. So everybody that originally had first class got moved to business class, and everybody that had business class got booted back to economy. So it was a longer flight over because it was in economy, and it was a constant fight with the family in front of us because they wanted to lay completely flat, and the boy tried laying in my lap.
Aww.
Yeah, no. So anyhow, we got over there and we made it. It wasn't ideal or anything. Did get money back, of course, but now flight back. I know this episode's going to be kind of all out of sequence and stuff, but that's fine. Flight back, which I sent you a picture.
Yeah, you were rocking it.
I mean, it was almost like we had a private jet ourselves because there was. I think the plane was, what'd they tell us? It was like 30% capacity.
Oh wow!
I do believe. So I mean, we were, we had the business class on the way back, and there were, counting myself and Deanna, there was 5 of us.
Oh wow!
So, I mean, we had our choice. I mean, we could have got up and roamed around and everything else. And, back in economy, there wasn't a whole lot of people either. the meals in business class, we actually got metal silverware. None of that bamboo crap. Actual glasses instead of the plastic cups.
Did you get breakfast literally thrown at you again, or did you actually?
No. It was. I mean, anytime we wanted anything, we would just tell them, "Hey, we're hungry," or thirsty, or whatever, and they would get us stuff. I mean, we had a plethora of snacks and stuff by the time we left.
We were just thrilled on the flight over. We finally get on the plane from Chicago to Helsinki, and the plane is about to fly off, and me and Matt realize, wait a minute, they're not boarding any other passengers, and we have an empty seat between us. It was like, oh.
I know, right?
So that was really nice. That was really nice.
Yeah.
I would say, like, I would totally fly Finnair again. Like, it was nice.
Yeah.
The food was, I mean, it was airplane food. Like, I only had one piece of broccoli on the way over that I literally thought was going to kill me. And I do like broccoli, but Matt, you said your broccoli was
my broccoli was fine.
My broccoli tasted like booty cheeks. Like, it was horrible. It was mushy. It was soggy. It tasted like wet dog. Yeah, our meals did not look like that. Like,
I don't know why it's not rotating, but yeah. So look, see the silverware?
Yeah, that looks like very easily identifiable food.
Oh, it was very good food.
Ours was. It was fine. It was fine.
It was fine.
So our flight over was nice. We flew into Helsinki and pretty much jetted. But we did get a nice little kind notification on our little screen saying, "Hey, we know your flight's going to be late, but don't worry, your next flight will wait for you." So that was nice.
So I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust it.
So then we hop on a plane.
Your flight will wait for you until it doesn't.
Yeah. And so we land in Copenhagen. And I can't speak to Matt, but like, I was pretty okay. As far as like sleep it goes. I popped a time travel pill for the big flight, and I got about 4 hours of sleep. So what about you, Matt? Like, how did the flight over?
I felt great getting off the plane. I rested a little bit on the plane, slept a little bit, but I felt great getting off the plane. On the way back, took a couple days to recover, but on the way to Denmark, I felt great, ready to go. And it was nice to go straight, when we got picked up by Christian and Niels, go straight to the woods and be able to camp that night.
Oh, we didn't go straight to the woods. We had a hot dog.
Well, that's true. We did that's right.
It was the initial poisoning of Matt. We made him eat.
I ate so many things.
What'd you eat? What'd y'all do?
We had like bread, and we had we had hot dogs, and we had like chocolate milk.
Yeah.
It was great. So like we actually got food even before we left the airport. So that was nice. And so Christian and Nils, shout out to those wonderful individuals that really took care of us. I can't thank them enough for their hospitality. Guys, it was a blast. Thank you so much.
They couldn't have been better hosts. They took care of everything. The camping arrangements, taking us grocery shopping, everything was transportation.
They are great people, both of them.
So we leave the airport. It's still in a small car, but they're like, oh, well, it's our car's small. No, it was significantly less cramped than when last year, because there was only 4 of us and not 5 of us.
I don't even want to hear it. Do not even want to hear it.
You're still bitter.
Cramped like it was last year. What do you know about being cramped last year? You were in the front seat.
I scooted up. I had to scoot up. My knees were tight.
Do you see the look?
Love you.
Do you see the look?
So the first night we ended up at this, what I could gather was like a public park that had like this camping structure. It was kind of like a mini Viking hut. It was nowhere near the size of the Viking hut that we went to last year, or obviously not the palace, the Viking palace that we went to later. But
I think it's huge.
We couldn't have a fire inside the Viking hut, but we had one on the outside, and we had red deer, which is something that I'd never eaten before, but it was a red deer that Christian had killed, and they had cooked it in the form of like a pulled pork. So it was like pulled red deer sliders.
Did it taste any different than our deer?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It may have taken the award for the best thing that I ate in Denmark this year.
Really?
Yes. Like I see like a theme of whatever I eat first. No, I take that back, because we ate the hot dog, and the hot dog was good, but it wasn't the best thing that I ate. But that first meal of camping, that seems to be like my go-to. But yeah, those.
Well, any of the food over there, though. I mean, I had lots. The food over there in Copenhagen, anyhow, can get expensive.
A little bit.
Yeah. Especially there at the hotel. But those restaurants, so last year it was just a sushi restaurant, which we did again this year, kind of like tradition, which was good. But the other restaurant in there, the MASH restaurant, it was a steakhouse.
Yeah, it's a chain, right?
MASH?
Yes, it stands for
No, I did not.
American
Steakhouse.
Yes, it's a chain.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, because they had one in the airport.
Really? Well, I know that they're in the hotel. That was they had that is it pronounced Wagyu or Wagyu? Wagyu. They had that, but I was not going to spend that much money on a steak.
But your plane ticket,
I like steak. Well, yeah, because that was comfort. The steak is just with you for what, 24 hours?
Probably closer to 6, but
yeah, maybe. But so I ended up, I got the cheapest steak that they had. But even the cheapest steak that they had, I went to went to put my fork in it so I could cut it, and the fork just kind of went into it like butter. So I was like, hold on. I literally pulled my fork out and actually cut my steak with my fork.
Wow.
It was that tender. So whether it's a chain or not, they need to bring one of those chains over here. It would take out every, steakhouse that we got over here.
So our very first night, we were looking to hang like just in the woods, but the more and more that we got to look, is we actually hung all 4 of our hammocks inside the Viking hut from the rafters. It was like this.
Was that the picture you took?
Yeah, that's the picture that I took. We'll add the pictures in the show notes. It was probably like one of my favorite pictures that I took too, because we had like 4 hammocks just like strung up inside, and it was crazy cool. It was crazy cool. It definitely probably ranks up there with, definitely top 10 places that I've hung. It just had a cool vibe all around. And the next morning that I woke up, and I was just kind of walking around this, this public park. They had like this really cool wooden playground kind of thing that was built. It was very like Viking themed. But when I was walking through, I saw this tree that it had just hundreds of these pacifiers tied to it. And I was like,
talking about normal pacifiers?
Yeah, like baby's pacifiers. And I was like,
okay,
this is weird, slightly creepy, but what's this about? So I did some more investigating. I asked Christian and Nils, and I guess that's a tradition over there that like babies, when they finally like get rid of their pacifier, I know it's been a long time since I've gotten rid of mine, but you kind of have like a connection to like this pacifier. So they tie it on the tree so the kid can come back and visit its pacifier occasionally. I just thought it was really cool. Yeah. It was.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's very, very unhygienic, but it's fine. Like, it's a cool, sentimental moment.
Did you take a picture of it?
I did.
Did you? Okay. That's kind of weird.
I'm trying to think, like, I didn't take as many pictures as maybe I did last year, and I definitely didn't maybe post them as much as I thought I did. But I do have a slew of pictures that I took. So
I took about 500.
Yeah. So after
you did, Matt?
These,
yeah, a little over 500.
Oh, you did?
Not of the tree, not just of the tree.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Only 400 are of the tree.
So we get up the next day and we go out and we go to this town. I don't remember the town that we went to. If I heard it, I would remember. But essentially, there was a castle, not a castle, but like a king's castle, I guess, for lack of a better term. It was like a castle area that the king went to. And we just kind of toured the grounds. It had like one of the fanciest 3-story bathrooms that was just a shower house. It was massive. And there's this huge swans over there. So I guess swan is the national bird of Denmark.
Yeah.
So saw that, and we walked around. We saw some of the gardens. We saw some of those really cool flowers that we saw last year, and then we just kind of wandered in through town. I finally got my first bite of licorice ice cream, and it was amazing. That's what I had for breakfast that day. So I didn't get coffee till later. So we did the whole tour. It was just kind of a walking tour of the castle grounds, and we went into town. I got ice cream, and then we went to like this like an REI-esque place, and I learned another little interesting tidbit about Danish culture. It is illegal to essentially open carry a pocket knife.
Really?
Yeah, so unless you have a distinct reason for carrying it, like for example, I was wearing one. Nils had brought me one to wear because, when you go camping, not always, but most of the time, I carry a knife of some sort because I end up using it at some point. That would be okay because I have a distinct reason for needing it because I was actively camping. However, if I was, per se, like a worker that needed a knife for its job, but I was coming back home, I couldn't legally carry it because I'm not actively using it.
Now, it's carried at all?
No.
Because you said open carry a minute ago.
No. Just carry it at all.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess it was something like, even if you put it in your car, it has to be like locked away. We're talking about a knife here, like not an AR, just a knife. So I'm like, okay. Interesting little nuggets of that.
Right.
So, and then we went to a large Danish grocery store, which for us was like an OG Walmart. Like not Walmart Supercenter, but like original Walmart.
Right.
But it was cool, like walking around and seeing things. The food just looked so delicious. The meats were just like bright and vibrant red. And there was our first taste of schmobel. And yeah, that's what we had for lunch. But Matt, I will let you tell the story about our arrival to our second location.
That was very interesting. So we parked in the parking lot. We started hiking in, and as we got close to the body of water that was there, we started to see a lot of flying insects, swarms, millions and millions and millions of
Like I've never
flying
seen anything
gnats.
like this before in my like even in the peak of love bug season, nothing, nothing remotely
What were they?
like midge flies, like
Yeah, they
non-biting
would
midge flies,
when they called
Okay.
it Danish dancing flies
something like
one
that.
point like that, and they were covering everything, just swarming all around, but they wouldn't come under our covered area where we had our fire pit area and a little covered area where we could put a couple hammocks. They would not go under that roof, but they were everywhere
Was it
else.
because of the fire?
I guess
No, before the fire, when we first got there, they were not underneath. Before we started the fire,
Really?
they would not go under that covered area, but they were everywhere else. Millions of them covering everything.
That was the hollowed
We
ground, huh?
I guess so.
maybe
I don't mean to sound like Ron Swanson here, but Paul, I don't think you truly understand when we say they were covering everything.
I saw your video.
Sweet,
I
fancy
haven't,
Moses.
I still got to put all the videos together and stuff. But yeah, I did see the video.
there
You're
was a
able to see them on
family
there.
there was a family going for a walk, and the dad had some kind of little net, like a little for grabbing maybe like tadpoles, was swinging it in the air, and their small child was just screaming
Screaming, just
uncontrollably
blood
the
curdling
entire time.
screams. But it
It
sounded
was
like
yeah, it
drones.
made
Like it wasn't
it
just
made
singing.
children
Like
cry.
they sounded like drones just flying
Yeah,
all around us.
Yeah.
It was definitely a unique experience. But yes, it was
That's
nice that
funny.
they weren't under the covered area because that would have been a deal breaker for me.
yeah, we would have left.
Yeah.
We would have slept in their tiny car.
Yeah, we tried to set up all four of our hammocks under the fire pavilion, but it just wasn't working out. So Matt and Christian were able to get under there, where me and Nils ventured the 15 feet outside of the covering, but almost immediately after we set up the tarps, there were thousands covering.
Oh wow.
Like instantly, almost instantly. And then like when we were going to get firewood a little later, like they were even covering the ground. Like all the leaves were covered. All the bark on the trees were just completely covered. They were just coming up from the ground. I don't know exactly what this was. And it must be something, very odd too, because Christian and Nils had never experienced this either. So
So
Huh.
they claim.
That was the height?
Yeah, that was the
Hmm.
little hut,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool. Like, and when Matt says like we were hiking out, it was a good mile and a half hike. Maybe not that far. Maybe, but we were carrying like coolers and
Oh, so much food. Yeah, there was
we
a lot
were
of food
Sherpa
and a lot of.
camping without the Sherpa. Now, granted, like Christian and Niels carried the majority of the weight, and yeah, I think we had one backpack cooler that probably weighed 60 pounds. Just we brought out so much stuff.
Was it all water?
It was beer.
Yeah, and that special orange soda drink, squish,
Oh yeah,
uh,
it was
Squash.
Huh. I didn't see
There
that
was a
one.
lot of that. Oh, so I there was something else that I realized over there because there's a lot of like low sugar and sugar free options as far as like drinks and things, and so that was another thing. Oh yeah, we had sausages
Do you know why stuff over there has less sugar in it?
because they get taxed for it.
They have a sugar tax.
They have a sugar
Yes.
tax.
the more sugar that's in something, the more they're taxed on it.
Yeah, that would never fly here in the States, but it really should, because...
Well, of course not. How would our government make money off of it?
But that they would make so much money off of it. But, then the pharmaceuticals
and they make more.
Digress.
They make more.
We
Yeah.
digress.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we
had sausage
different
that
podcast
first night from the store, and those sausages were also amazing. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. So, so after camping for 2 days, we make our way over to the festival grounds. But before that, we actually go to like this public swimming facility that was there.
So y'all were over there so let's see, you left on Sunday, we left on Monday. Y'all got there
on Monday.
Monday. So y'all were only there a day before
we were only
us.
A day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go to this. It was almost like a Roman bath. Like there was like 8 or 9 different pools that were specifically designed for like fun pools, relaxing pools, silent pools, pools for wellness, pools for play. There was a whirlpool. And then we go to this other area where they had like 3 different types of saunas. One of them was like, okay, you can talk in here, but the other one had like a shush little sign.
Yeah.
And you could
kind of like the section on the train.
Yeah. Which I think is great.
The Heather didn't pay any attention to.
Yeah. Oh, that was not the case. And
that was quiet for her.
Yeah. Well, the sad part is we weren't even in this section. But the train guy come down. He's like, I can hear y'all all the way at the other end of the train. It's like, Heather, shut up.
Awkward.
Yeah.
So
it's all good. All good.
So there were 2 different types of saunas that we went into. There was one that was like moist heat, which just felt like Florida in August, except it had a lot more steam. But then there was a dry sauna, which got up to, I want to say 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Or 100, no, it got up to 179 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, put that in context. I boil my water for my coffee at 180 degrees.
Wow.
So it was very hot. And we were just sitting in there, just taking in cool, percolating. It was 170 degrees, but very like a dry heat. And then we exited, and then they had a cold plunge pool right there where the water was like 51 degrees or something like that. And so then they agged me and Matt on to do a cold plunge, and that was an experience.
Yeah, no,
I don't think they thought we were going to do it. We did it twice.
Yeah, we did it twice.
Why?
The second time was not that bad. Thing.
No.
Huh?
We were sauna to cold plunge to sauna to cold plunge to sauna.
Mm-hmm. We were embracing the culture.
Mm-hmm. There's other ways to embrace it. That would not be one. No, I'm good.
But it also allowed us to like get a shower and stuff before we, had to go meet the thousands of people at the Danish Outdoor Festival. So,
get a shower or just get wet?
No. It was a full. We got a shower.
Okay.
They had the hand pump shampoo on the wall and everything.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were nice and cool and clean and all set up. So.
Yeah, see, Dan and I got over there, and once we made it into Copenhagen, we got it, God's plane and everything, made it through the customs and all that hoopla, and we got on the train because you can take the train from the airport wherever. So we took the train from there to Copenhagen Central, and then made that 5-block journey with 6 pieces of luggage, just to find out that if we'd gotten off one stop before, it would have been a lot closer. So we know this now. for next year.
Not to go completely out of order, but me and Matt knew that.
We don't want to talk about the train.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about the train. If
oh my God, I wish you had that on video.
So just to make sure this story does not get forgotten. So on our way back from the festival to Copenhagen, we were all getting off. So we were on the second level per se of the train, and Shug was on like the middle layer. So we get to our stop. We're getting our stuff to like get off. Shug gets off, and
you got to be quick.
You got to be quick. We were not slow.
You don't have to be quick. You just got to be paying attention, because they come over the speaker and they tell you what stop is next. That's when you get your butt up and you get ready.
Yeah, we didn't.
You don't wait until you stop.
Yeah. So we get down there. We're not slow. The doors will not open, and I'm like hitting buttons and stuff like this or something. And so, like, here's Shug, like, just looking outside, and I just, like,
see him through the window,
like, wave as the train just pulls away. It was a very, it was just like,
I wish I had
my friend.
I wish there was video of that. I wish there was video of that.
But, awkwardly enough, we actually ended up getting to the hotel before he did. So.
That's funny.
Yeah, the train conductor who talked to us, he was not understanding at all.
No, he was just like, "You're too slow.
You should have got off the train faster." Like, we were there, we saw that there was plenty of time. It just doors wouldn't open.
No.
Luckily, like the stop after that was the stop that we got off last year, like in Copenhagen Central.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. But now back to our arrival. So yeah, we get there and we get set up, and we see the Danish Outdoor Festival folks, and they're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, trying to put things up and put out fires and all that. So we're just kind of like, hey, just show us where you want to go. And they pointed to the area, and we just kind of got set up, and you guys arrived probably 2 hours or something like that after we got there. And we had the good times kid proceed. Everybody kind of got there
we got
all
up
at one time.
Yeah. Well, we got up that morning and went and had breakfast and everything, and then we met in the lobby with it was myself and Deanna, Shug, and Steve and his wife Monica. And
Steve
we all
went.
Yes, yeah. All went and got on the train and everything. And then so we was on the train, all the way from right there at Tivoli all the way to where the festival was. And we get off, and Corey and Tiffany were on the same train, just in different places. We didn't know it. So we all got off at the same place. So that's when we met up with them.
So I think that's kind of a good thing to be aware for everybody that might be interested in going next year, because unlike this year, it's going to be in the same location as it was this year.
Yeah.
And you can really
something else.
Get off.
I don't know if
the plane and then get on the train and go straight there. So there's no need for a rental car or anything like that.
No, you can get everywhere by train. By transit, public transportation stuff. So here's this, I don't know if y'all had this, but there's this app. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But this app right here.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not even going to begin to try and pronounce that, but it's an app that instead of buying tickets at the different kiosks,
mm-hmm.
you just take and you turn that on, and you link your card to it, and you just start your journey. And then when you get to your whatever destination it is and you get off, then you end your journey, and it keeps track by GPS your locations and calculates everything at that point. Now, something I did realize about it is for like 2 days, every time Deanna and I would go somewhere, I'd go in and I'd hit the button for the, it asks how many kids, how many adults, and all this. So I would always put 2 adults, right? Myself and Deanna. Well, there was one of the times that we're on there and the conductor comes around, to scan the QR code or the, for it and everything. And he scans it and he's like, 3? I was like, no, just 2. Just me and her. He's like, this is 3. Well, so I thought that it was messed up. No, it wasn't messed up. When I would select 2 adults, I was selecting 2 additional adults because I'm the one on the app.
Oh.
So it automatically counted me. So for like 2 days, I was paying for an extra person that wasn't there.
I think it's nice you still have an imaginary friend.
Yeah, it's all
it's
good
fine.
though.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
No, I say it's I didn't mind it. It didn't really bother me that much because
It was
I know
still probably
that
the cheapest thing over there was your
well,
additional.
not just that, but the taxes for it go to paying the healthcare and all that.
That's true.
Something else I found out while I was over there. Not only that their healthcare and stuff like that is included. Mm-hmm. I say included, it's included in their life. So, but they don't have to pay extra like what we do over here. Mm-hmm. They're seniors. Once you hit a certain age, everything is paid for you. Your housing and everything else through those taxes.
Sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you're a lot closer to that age than I am, so.
Yep.
No comment.
You're catching up, buddy. How old are you, Matt?
Matt would be the elder of both of us.
Mm-hmm. Not by much, though. Not by much. No, you don't. Matt is like the child of all of us. Did you hold on? Yeah, you were there. Tivoli. I got the video of Matt skipping through Tivoli Gardens with the security guard. Security guard. Yeah. You were there, weren't you, AJ?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
That video may still exist. We'll see.
Oh, it does. It does. I've got it.
So so that was Wednesday. We had just everybody getting there and getting set up, and we kind of built what HangCon would be for that weekend. Kind of tucked into the woods a little bit, which was fine because I think that really drove a lot of people into just seeing a lot of what we had to offer as far as like camping options. But the second day before dinner, we got the opportunity to go to this, I want to say it was a UNESCO heritage site, or it was an active, it's not really a museum, but it was more of a scientific, do you remember the word the tour guide gave? It was more like an active,
like a hands-on museum that where you can touch everything and explore and.
Yeah, so we got to see this as his.
It was the actual archaeological. My gosh, archaeological site, wasn't it?
Yes. They basically have reconstructed this Danish this palace from all the historical information that they can infer, and it's the largest in really the world, I believe, because this thing was
that's what I heard
massive.
Too, so.
It was truly massive, and we learned so much stuff there. But one of the cool things for me, the thing that I took the most is when she was talking about the age of the Vikings, and she started talking about this volcanic event called the Fimbul Winter, where there was all these like volcanic eruptions, and it actually blacked out the sky for 3 years or something like that. And it was something like in like 500 CE. And it was a historical event that I had never heard of until that event. So, yeah.
Right.
Not to mention the really cool things that we saw inside the Viking Palace.
The place was gorgeous. I got plenty of video and stuff of it.
Yeah, I can't wait till you put together the videos that we did, because man, that was utterly incredible.
Yeah.
Our tour guide was like gave off super teacher vibes. Like as a teacher, I thoroughly appreciated all the inputs that she had. It was really, she was on point. She was really on point.
Yeah, that place was walking distance from the festival. We actually all walked there.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
And we got to tour the castle that the grounds were. Well, we didn't get to actually walk through it because that's like a private residence, but we got a tour of the grounds, and just utterly spectacular. And we got a Danish pastry extravaganza while we were over there as well. So many just different, like beyond your traditional like Danish, which is not really Danish, but that's another long story. But we went to a bakery that was within walking distance of the festival, and man, I just didn't know what to get. Everything was just so good, and the rye bread. I never did get my sourdough while I was over there, though.
Did you get there at the festival over by, where the area that War Pigs and the other the hamburger place and all that stuff was? Did you get you one of those the pancakes?
I did not.
Oh my god!
I was really looking forward to like those Cinnabons that we had last year, but
I was too. But the pancakes made up for it.
Like pancakes are not a go-to for me, so I may have easily.
This wasn't a normal pancake though.
Yeah, but I hear pancake and I'm like, eh.
They call them pancakes, but it was the pancake with the Nutella and then bananas and then ice cream. It was really good.
I did have a beef brisket sandwich from War Pigs. It was amazing.
I got one of those.
It was like $20, but it was really, really good.
Yeah, I got one, and then Deanna, she had one, and she had a little bit left and couldn't finish it, so she went and handed it to me. And of course, I go to drop it, and no, it never hit the ground. It never hit the. I juggled that thing. Down? Look, I juggled that thing. I kept tossing. I separated everything. The bun went somewhere. I don't know where the bun went, but I captured all the goodness part of it.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I juggled that in a complete circle. I think Cal was laughing at me.
Yeah, so it was really great this year to see as many American vendors beyond the few of us that went last year.
Right.
It was so many more, and we got to meet so many vendors that I had never heard of before. Some that I thought I knew, but definitely did not know, like Ticket to the Moon. Met them, super great guys. We met, it's so many different ones. We met a quilt vendor, Kibu. They were doing a lot of like patchwork quilt designs. They were looking like really pretty, kind of very similar to my UGQ kind of patchwork quilt that Chad made for me. But theirs were much more like I guess, regular tone colors, but just beautiful, beautiful quilts. I want to say they were from Hungary, I think. Yeah.
Maybe. I thought it was actually neat meeting Isabel from One Wind face to
Yeah.
face, because I mean, 'cause they've been, you know, a HangCon supporter for several years now,
Hmm.
you know, but you know, yeah,
Yeah, they were
meeting it
camped
was
like right up the hill from us.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, yep, right behind us, kind of. That was her and her husband, and actually hearing how they got started into the camping and hammock part of
Mhm.
everything was pretty neat. They started off just making fabric. That's what their company originally started as, and um, they had a friend from over here that was a DIYer and wanted to DIY some camping gear, hammock and
Mhm.
everything. And so he talked them into making some of the fabric. Well, then I think only a small portion of the fabric was bought, so they were left with all this fabric that wasn't normally used, you know, but it was perfect for, you know, hammocks and tents and, you know, just camping gear. So that's when they got into making all the camping
Hmm.
stuff, which is pretty neat.
I want to say when I was going around and doing my interviews that will be in our video later on. Um, I believe I did not get them, or I didn't get our buddies from Hammock as well. They were always busy up there. They were showing off the 2-person hammock that they have, and
Mm-hmm.
there was always a crowd up there. So I was like, yeah, but I never could get back around to getting them. But yeah,
They had their own little area
yeah.
set up there. They were always up there cooking and everything,
They're
having a
such
good
great
old time.
guys. That
Yeah,
whole crew
yeah,
is just awesome. And
yeah.
we met the Schwarzwiener, the German company that makes
The
the
tables.
tables.
Yeah,
They were super cool. Uh,
yep. Did you get around to interviewing them?
yes, I did.
Did you?
I
Okay,
did.
okay. Yeah, you and I mean, actually, all of us. You and Matt. So, I mean, of course, we're right there with each other. But I mean, we didn't really hang out a whole lot
Yeah, that was probably like
over there.
the biggest thing for me that I did not expect like this year. Like we really did not see each other pretty much
Not a whole
the
lot.
entire event. That wasn't intentional or anything. It was just
No, no.
we were jiving and jiving in just different directions, and
Right.
yeah, it was just there was just so much to do and so much to see, and um, gosh, we haven't even talked about the festival, and yeah, we're at an hour. So
Yeah, no.
you want to
This might be a
you want
three-parter.
to wrap it up this section, and next week we'll talk about the actual festival and maybe talking about some of the gear that we took that really were a game changer for us, and maybe some of our roses and thorns is what my kids would like to say when we
Yeah.
go on our trip.
Yeah. Yeah, we might be able to turn this into, I mean, this actually may be a three-parter, to be honest with you, because we got the festival and then we got after the festival, because y'all were even able to stay a couple of extra days after the festival. And then, of course, Deanna and I, um, stayed even longer than that.
Yeah,
So,
it was such a great trip. But yeah, so we'll wrap up this week, and yeah, so stay tuned for more exciting adventures of Paul Skunkape and Waterboy as we venture more into the Danish Outdoor Festival and HangCon Europe from 2025 in next week's episode. If you thoroughly enjoyed everything that you've heard this week, give us a like and subscribe on all of our social media outlets, and leave us a review. That really helps us get the message out and offer sacrifices to the algorithm that lets more people find us. So we really appreciate those small little gestures. And if nothing else, get out there and start hanging before it gets too hot. Well,
that's too late for us
that's
here.
too late for us already. That's why I'm leaving next month. Until next time, everybody, happy hanging.
As we gently sway out of another Hammock Field episode, we want to thank you, our wonderful listeners, for hanging out with us on the Hammock Hangers podcast. We hope that you have found relaxation, inspiration, and a renewed sense of connection to nature through our discussions. Remember to keep that hammock spirit alive in your daily life, whether it's by taking a few moments to unwind in your own backyard oasis or by planning your next hammock adventure in the great outdoors. Embracing the tranquility, embracing the simplicity, and never forget the joy that comes from simply hanging around. Before we part ways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all things hammock related. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for the Hammock Hangers Podcast. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to hang with you again on our next episode. Until then, stay relaxed, stay adventurous, and keep on hanging those hammocks high. From all of us here at the Hammock Hangers Podcast, we wish you peaceful hangs and endless relaxation. Thank you for tuning in. Happy hanging, everyone.